Good morning. My name is Charlie, and I will be your chairperson for today's service. Are there any newcomers or new students and families here this morning? First, we will have suture chanting. Please join us in the reading of Sambujo on page 24 in the big book, followed by Juseige on page 23 in the little book, or page 93 in the big book.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. 고생한 이시무조노 싱아후만소 세이프조숑아 아오무료고 부이나이세쇼 의사이쇼빙후 세이프조숑아 아시조부즈노 묘쇼조지법 흑혐이쇼몬 세이프조숑아 리여그진쇼넨 저에슈몽염 시금은조노 이쇼텐닌십 진리기엔나이콤 버쇼무사이놈 쇼조상구명 어사이슈야구난 가이히지에겐 메시코모안 해성무쇼와군노 쓰다츠센쇼몬 어서조만소 이여러지법 니징아튼슈주기 땡호엄풍엔 이슈카이호소 고세쿠노구호 조어다이쇼주 세포시시구 부여이사이벗 여성무슈토구혼 만내시츠조만 도구이상나이오 여무츠무게집 전하츠미프쇼 왕아크에리 도시사이쇼선 싱안야공압 나이센노칸노 오그쇼텐닌 도우잼요
Now we will have Gatha. Amida Buddha is with me on page 32, followed by the golden chain located on page 2 in the little book and page 15 in the big book under golden chain 1.
What are we singing? 32? Okay. Happy, happy, happy. When at play I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. Amida Buddha is with me. Happy, happy, happy. When at work I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. Amida Buddha is with me. Happy, happy, happy. When at school I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. Amida Buddha is with me. Happy, happy, happy. When at church I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. Amida Buddha is with me.
The golden chain. I am a link in
Amida's
Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Miss Tanabe.
Good morning. Dharma School students, teachers, and parents and friends. Please join me in Kansho. People who can pour their lives into their work are fortunate. Whatever difficulties they may face, they can go on living with renewed strength and endless gratitude. Life becomes immortal through work. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, how's everybody this morning? Good? How many of you have heroes or role models, people that you look up to, that you respect, that maybe you want to imitate? Raise your hand, you do? Who's your role model or hero?
My role model is
Good. Anybody else? Who's your model, Michael? You can have more than one role models and one hero, right? But it's important, although we see a lot of movies and television about these comic book characters who are big heroes, right? Let's look back in time to see if there are some heroes back in history that you might want to imitate. One of my heroes is Abraham Lincoln. If you had to go back in time and you could talk and maybe have lunch with this person, what would you say? I'd say to Abraham Lincoln, "My, you really are a tall person." And I also would say, "And happy birthday, by the way. Your birthday is going to be in a few days, right?" And I would say, "You know what? I would like to take you to lunch." But I know he probably wouldn't like Mexican food. You think he would like Thai food or Chinese food? I think he's a meat and potatoes kind of a person, right? So during lunch, I would say to him, "All I want to say, President Lincoln," I may want to call him old Abe, but that would be disrespectful. So I would say, "President Lincoln, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for appearing in our history at the time that you did. I want to thank you for freeing the slaves. I want to thank you for being the kind of person we would look up to." And of course, unfortunately, he was killed. Had he not been killed, maybe he would have been able to heal this country at that time. Maybe we need someone like him at this time in our history. But I have another role model, and her name is Lady Takeko Kujo. Can you repeat her name after me? Lady Takeko Kujo, right? And today is kind of a special holiday, a special celebration of Lady Takeko Kujo's life and her work. The classic name in Japan for February is Kisaragi Ki. It's kind of like February. It symbolizes Lady Takeko Kujo. She was a daughter of Monshu. She was born on October 20, 1887. Lady Kujo's faith and Amida's Buddha's compassion penetrated her personal and public activities throughout her entire life, although she had a short life. Lady Kujo was one of 3 women who took the lead in establishing the foundation of Kyoto Women's University. She and her sister-in-law, Kazuko, established the Fujinkai, the Buddhist Women's Association. When her father died, her brother became the Gomonshu. When Takeko was just 5 years old, her future sister-in-law, Kazuko, came to live at the temple. They both became very close friends. Takeko's dedication through her education began at a very conservative school, but it accepted both rich and poor students. This allowed her to mingle among normal and ordinary people. In 1909, Takeko married Kazuko's brother, Baron Yoshimune Kujo. Shortly after their marriage, they moved to London, where he could go to Oxford University for education. Later on, not Oxford, Cambridge. Later on, he began to work at a local bank. But after just a year later, Kujo returned to Japan, and she and her husband were apart for about 10 years. She writes about her loneliness in her poems. In 1923, the great Kanto earthquake devastated Tokyo. Lady Kujo responded with many humanitarian efforts. A couple of years later, the Hongwanji established a public clinic in Tokyo to help the poor. This clinic eventually became Asoka Hospital. Lady Kujo con- when she had all her poems and writings published, she received royalties, but she donated these royalties to the funds for the Oshoko Hospital. She was widely known as a poet. She wrote poems and essays about her Nembutsu faith. She wrote The Tinkling of the Golden Bell. It was reproduced in English in 2018 by my friend Hoshina Seki of the American Buddhist Studies Center in New York. It's in the book called Leaves of My Heart. Lady Kujo, born in nobility, worked her whole life in Tokyo slums to help the poor, the orphaned, and the injured. While performing these humanitarian efforts, she contracted blood poisoning and died on February 7th, 1928. She was only 42 years old. But today we remember her and honor her, and all Buddhist women, especially the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist women, try to follow in her footsteps. Please join me in Gassho from Lady Kujo. That which allow us to endure hardships of unknown lands, to be sure, is our religion. The teachings of the Buddha Dharma is our strength. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Who are we celebrating today? Yes, Lady Takeko Kujo. Thank you.
Thank you to Miss Tanabe. Now we will have farewell on page 45, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book and page 15 in the big book.
Dharma school is over for another day. Let us gather round the shrine, bow our heads and say, thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you, everyone. Buddha's love will keep us safe till our work is done. So we'll meet again next week. Won't you take good care? Let us try to do what's right, always kind and fair. We shall spread the happiness faith in Buddha brings. Now it's time to say goodbye till we meet again. Namo Amida Butsu, sing this fine refrain. Namo Amida Butsu, sunny day or rain. Namo Amida Butsu, strong in faith remain. Namo Amida Butsu, till we meet again.
The promise. We
Thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives.
Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Thank you to thank you to Ms. Tanabe and to organist Ms. Jones. Are there any announcements?
So the Buddhist Women's Association has started its community outreach program, and we are contributing and donating the large bottles of lotion, shampoo, conditioner, soap, whatever, to donate to Aki, our partner in this community effort. And it is to benefit the domestic violence program. So we have a trunk in the office. You can donate there, and then if you don't want to donate those items, you can give San Jose Buddhist Women Association a check, and we will purchase blankets and sheets for that program. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Lynn Yamaichi, and I am here to represent Generations Unite. And we are fundraising for our new building, the Dharma Center, which all of us can enjoy once we get it. So first I want to say that it was awesome seeing so many people at the Junior YBA spaghetti dinner last night. And not only was it delicious and fun, but we also got to see so many of our friends that we haven't seen. So with that, Generations Unite is organizing our casino night, and I've mentioned this before at this service, but now we have these handy-dandy flyers, and if you'd like to register and save administration fees for our fundraiser, you could take one of these and just pay with a check in the church. And so this is here, and we also have more information online at the Betsuin's website. So anyways, hope you can join us. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Brendan Nagatani.
And my name is Marcus Sakurai.
We are from Boy Scout Troop 611. On March 11th, we'll be having our family dinner. Each dinner will have Korean barbecue meat, rice, broccoli, salad, and dessert.
You can reserve your ticket at the Eventbrite link. We will have dine-in or takeout. Each dinner will come with a raffle ticket, and there will be an opportunity to purchase more raffle tickets that day.
You can send or bring a check to the church office or give to any Boy Scout.
There are flyers in the back of the church. If you have any questions, there's an email address on the flyer.
Thank you for supporting our troop.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following the service or to visit the open door cafe outside. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Did I tell you that Holly has COVID? Holly Low. So I said, don't come. Yeah. She was going to come to give us our checks today, so I don't know. She made it, yeah. She said she made it go golfing, but not because golfing, you're outside, right? I don't think she could have caught it from golfing.
Oh, sorry, we're in the way. Oops.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a very special day. This is a day that we set aside to honor Lady Takeko Kujo, and is hosted by the Sansei Buddhist Women's Association. So I'm glad to see so many of you here today. Please join me in Gassho. The starry heavens are magnificent. Ah, who can fathom their mystery? When those countless eyes glisten so brightly, how they delight my aching heart. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Those were the words written by Lady Takeko Kujo. Edith Vassell wrote that Lady Kujo's profound essays reinforce Buddhist values, the honor, the worth of everything. Lady Kujo's life, as short as it was full of compassion and courage. And now we will have meditation, sutra chanting, Sambujo, Sanbutsuge. You can find Sanbutsuge in the large book.
Namanda, namandos, namanda, namanda, namandos, namanda.
Now we have the three treasures by Rinban. And I think it's easier with page 3 in the small Dharma school book. Please stand.
The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life? Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One? Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Please remain standing for the Kie Mon.
Okay, so Kie Mon is on large page 6 on the large book. If you have a large book, so if you please join me in reading Kie Mon. Please, page 6. Okay. Okay. Take your time. 6, 7. Yeah, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. 人参受けがたし、今すでに行く。仏法聞きがたし、今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってか、好みをどせん。大衆もろともに、指針に参謀に帰依し立てまつる。自ら仏に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくば主情とともに大道を体現して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくば主情とともに深く胸像に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくば主情とともに 大衆を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも相合うことがたし。我今検問し授事することを得たり。願わくは如来の真実義を消し立てまつらん。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。Thank you. Please be seated.
And now we will have Gerald Oshoko representing San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuin, Janice Doi. Representing Buddhist Women's Association, Karen Akimoto. Thank you. And now will the Sangha please rise for the Gatha Seiya, which were the words written by Lady Kujo. In the larger book, page 226. 226.
Be seated.
And now we will have a Dharma message by Reverend Mikame.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here for the special service to commemorate Lady Takeku Kujo. This service is an important opportunity for us to remember the big contribution that she made for establishment of BWA, Buddhist Women's Association, and also appreciate the teaching of Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, which she rejoiced in through her entire life. So I'd like to start my talk by reading Shinan Shonin's word on one of his Wasan hymns. So will you please join me in Gassho? Please place your hands together at your heart center. Of those who encounter the power of the primal vow, no one passes by in vain. They are filled with the treasure ocean of virtues. The defiled waters of their blind passion not separated. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, thank you. So I have just come back here from Japan early January. So I was able to see whole family and friends for the first time in 3.5 years. I enjoy good food, onsen, hot spring, and Japanese customs that I miss for the past few years. So I had a really good time with my family, and I'm so refreshed now. Before returning to Japan, I texted my friend in Chiba to ask what the temperature was like in Japan. And since it was late November, I didn't know what to wear. So sometimes it is very cold, and sometimes it's very warm in the late November in Japan. And my friend said, it had been warm recently. I really don't like the cold weather. I was born and raised in a cold, snowy country called Shimane in Japan. But it is when it's cold, I really don't want to go out. I was planning to stay in Japan until January 2nd. So I really wondered if I should bring a thick coat or not. So it is a kind of question of life or death for me. So I decided to leave my thick coat, like a thick jacket behind, and bring a thin jacket, thinking that I would be fine since it's getting warmer these days due to the global warming. It was actually warm and nice when I landed at Narita Airport. I could enjoy the stay in Chiba and Nagoya, where my younger sister lives in, for about 10 days. And then, however, I returned to Shimane in December. Things were completely different from the time in Chiba. It was freezing cold. I guess I had forgotten how cold Shimane winters can be, since it had been long since I had been back. My hometown is in Shimane Prefecture, situated in a northern region of western Japan, facing the Sea of Japan. I was born and raised in a kind of mountainous town in Shimane, so it snows a lot this time of year. But it had not been snowing that much recently. But during my stay this time, it snows like heavily twice. Yeah, it was 15 inch or 10 inches high. The day before Christmas Eve and the day before New Year's Eve. So if it snows, you need to shovel snow every morning. Otherwise, you can go out of the house. It was so cold that I had to wear a jacket even when I was inside a house. Yeah. I'm so sensitive to the cold. And I ended up buying a thick coat and came back to the United States with it. However, it is not being very cold like in Japan, so my coat will sleep in a closet until the next time I go somewhere cold. Yeah. So I like the winter season because there are many fun events and warm and nice food. But I really don't like the cold. I'm okay with the heat. If it's summer, I would also enjoy cold and nice food. I love shaved ice. Yeah, I love strawberry flavor shaved ice. But I don't really like the lemon flavor that much. Yeah. If it's a cold stuff, I love ice cream. and I love most of the flavors, but I don't really like the sweet beans or abzuki flavors ice cream. But if it comes with mochi, I love sweet beans paste flavor, and I'll be able to eat a lot. Especially, I prefer smooth type of sweet beans to mashed one. Yeah. Well, how about you? I don't know. But when you eat mochi, you would drink coffee with it. But I prefer green tea, yeah, especially green tea, yeah, because too much caffeine doesn't agree with me. I'm sure you're all wondering what I'm talking about. What I am talking about now is my world, my interests, and my tastes, which I'm creating. Some people may like what I said I don't like. What they would say is, I like something cold and hate winter. I hate strawberry flavor shaved ice, but I like lemon flavor shaved ice. I don't like ice cream, but I love sweet bean flavor ice cream. I prefer mashed sweet bean mochi. I prefer coffee to green tea. Is that all? I don't know. But that will be his or her world, tastes, and ideas that he or she is creating. I live in my own world. You live in your own world. We live in our own worlds. Each of us creates our own world by drawing boundary lines here and there to our own tastes, like likes and dislikes. Buddhism teaches us that we create our own world by surrounding ourselves with what we like, what we think is good, and what we believe is right. That is how we live. This is how we live. I believe that everyone's value judgment is different. Even if you live together or in the same time period, everyone is different. The standard that we have sometimes causes trouble. For example, does this water look big to you or smaller to you? Does this look small to you? When you are very, very thirsty, it looks small to you. Maybe it might look small, but when you are full or not thirsty, it is too big for you, doesn't it? The reason is that our standard changes from time to time, depending on our current mood. I may dislike someone I thought was a good person until yesterday, when I see them do something I don't like. Because our standards change from time to time, the boundaries we draw here and there would have odd shape. I have a habit of saying, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that, こうしなきゃ, or something like this. Even when I make plans to do this or that throughout the day, it doesn't always go as planned. And I sometimes regret that I should have done this or that. It is not that these words are wrong. These are kind of reminders for myself. But if these thoughts or desires become too strong, they become words that binds us to ourselves. Until recently, I thought that being an independent adult means having a job, earning money, and living an independent life with it. I drew the kind of expectation line for myself. After graduating from my university in Tokyo, I came back to Shimane, my hometown, and I had worked at the medical company in my hometown as an office staff for about 2 years. I started working for a company that made and sold medical orthotics product, not only in Japan, but also to people overseas. I had studied English in college, so I thought I could be involved in overseas affairs. In reality, however, although I could read and write English to some extent, I was not a good speaker, and I had never done any office work before. So I was not someone who could hit the ground running. Renting my own apartment, working and living on my own. This was my ideal image of working and mature adult. I wanted to be like that, so I decided to work hard, rent apartment, and make a living on my own. I started working at the company for a few months, and things were not going well. I was doing clerical work, but I kept making mistakes from answering phone to copying document to serving tea to customers. And my boss kept scolding me every day. I felt ashamed of myself because I thought I was trying to do my best, but it wasn't working out. Gradually, my boss began to be unreasonably hard on me, regardless of whether I was making a mistake or not. At first, I tried to keep smiling all the time to enjoy working, but gradually it became hard to force myself to smile. Perhaps I was disliked by my boss. I was also immature at the time, so my fear of her came out in my attitude. And I think the relationship with my boss deteriorated even more. It became more and more unpleasant for me to go to work. I couldn't enjoy the life at all and didn't know what I lived for. And I could not sleep at night. One day, after 2 years, on the way to work, I felt chest pain, and I was hyperventilating, and I was unable to move from my car. I then went to the doctor's office, and the doctor told me to take a leave of absence for a while. And after a while, I quit my job. Then I decided to move out of the apartment where I was living alone, and went back to my parents' home. I had nothing to do during the daytime on weekdays when everyone else in the world was working. I didn't feel like doing anything, and I was idly watching TV all day long. I had a boundary line thickly drawn to myself that independent adults were supposed to work and earn their own money to make a living. So I really hated myself for being the opposite of what I wanted to be. I felt ashamed of myself at the time to go out in the daytime with the job, and I felt sorry for my parents. I knew I had to somehow work on my own again and become independent, but I lost my goal and didn't know what to do next. After living like this for about 2 months, maybe she didn't know that I was in such state of mind, but my grandmother, who lived with my family at the temple in my parents' home, told me something like this. Hey, if you have nothing else to do, why don't you try studying Buddhism? At first, I was not very interested at all. But on another day, when I was having tea with her, she said, I heard that there's a man who was a Buddhist minister serving outside of Japan. Isn't he cool? When I heard that, I thought it was really cool. First of all, I was interested in becoming an overseas missionary with the sole intention of wanting to change myself and escaping from this place. So I decided to go and study at the Buddhist seminary in Kyoto called Chiyo-Bukkyo Gakuin and study hard for the entrance exam, thinking that this would give me a reason to stay at home without the job. Even after studying at the Buddhist seminary, I studied hard because I wanted to become a respectable minister. A few months after entering the seminary, one day I visited a temple in Kyoto to hear the Dharma talk. I remember that these words had a great impact on my mind. You don't have to work hard. You can be who you are. 頑張らなくていいよ。そのままでいいですよ。The real meaning of these words is that our efforts and ability are not required at all for my birth in the Pure Land. It means that Buddha will embrace us as we are and assures us to be born in the Pure Land. So there is absolutely no need for us to accumulate merits by reading a lot of sutras or to get smarter by studying a lot. In this regard, he meant, in your birth in the Pure Land, you don't have to work hard. You can just be as you are. But at the time, I understand the meaning differently. When I heard those words, it was as if a warm heart had burst into my heart, which had been flattened like a deflated balloon. I felt as if I could have accepted myself, that I was fine as I was. And I felt as if my whole body seems to relax. And after that, I realized that I have been living with such a force all this time. Then I gradually began to appreciate the kindness and compassion of people around me. I thought of my other coworkers who supported me even in my difficult time. I felt sorry at the time for my family, who had watched over me during my difficult period without saying anything. I had completely lost sight of those kindness that I had received because I was stuck on my dark side. However, I was not able to recognize each of them but my mind regains strength. I was able to notice such things and naturally became able to say thank you. I think I am now able to say thank you a little more honestly than before. Shinran Shonin says in his Wasan, of those who encounter the power of a primal vow, no one passes by in vain. Jodo Shinshu is Buddhism. Buddhism is teaching that Shakyamuni Buddha shared with many people over 2,500 years ago after his enlightenment in India. His words were written into sutras and spread throughout the world. Who did the Buddha speak to? Did he speak only to people who were dying? No, he spoke to every living thing. We do not know how much time we have left in our lives. He talked to us so that we can live the rest of our lives to the fullest. Nowadays, the average life expectancy is around 80 or 90 years old, and I'm not sure if I will be able to live to that age. Neither I nor anyone else knows if I will be able to live to that age. Why don't we know? It is because this is the first time we are living this life. Everything is unexpected because we are living this life for the first time. Everything that we happen tonight, an hour from now, 10 minutes from now, a minute from now, and even 1 second from now till will be new to us. Each of us is living our first moment. We are living lives approaching death, but at the same time, we're lives that alive at this moment. Therefore, Shakyamuni Buddha talk about the Amida Buddha for us, living beings, wishing for us to live to the fullest in the peace and the tranquility. Now that we are alive, and when life ends, Amida Buddha assures us to be born as a Buddha in a Pure Land. So Buddhism is not a teaching for preparation for a death or after death. I believe it is a teaching that we should encounter now as we are alive. Fortunately, we are in a world that is full of workings of the Buddha, a world where we can hear the Buddha Dharma, a world where we can hear Namo Amida Butsu. If it is a teaching after death, why we are hearing Namo Amida Butsu now? Maybe we hear Namo Amida Butsu because it is a teaching we need to receive now. I will continue to measure and judge everything by my own standards in this world full of the Buddha's workings. But this is the world where the Buddha is working. Beside my own standards, there is always Buddha's true wisdom. The difference between my own standard and the Buddha's true wisdom is that my own standards is a scale that has a scale that changes from one place to another depending on my own mood. Then how about the Buddha's way of seeing the world? There is no scale to measure or judge things. If there is a scale, it means that you cannot measure things. You cannot draw the boundary line. The fact that my standards is placed next to the Buddha's true wisdom means that I'm given time to think about my own standard there. Was a boundary line really necessary? Is this line really right? I guess it gives me time to think about it. Wasn't the line drawn in a transient fit of anger? I believe that we are called upon to ask a question. When I believe that independent adults should earn their own money and live off that money, and a thicker and darker line was drawn by myself there. But now I look back on myself and think that it has become a much thinner line than it used to be. I think my immaturity is still in the fact that the line is not completely gone. Then I'm starting to live a little bit easier than before. I'm starting at least a little less disgusted with myself than before. If you have encountered the Buddha's dynamic working, it will change your mind in this way. I think that thanks to Amida Buddha, it has become a little easier to live. But unfortunately, even when I hear and I'm embraced that I hear that I am embraced by Buddha in a wisdom and compassion, I cannot recognize it because it is a dynamic working. It has a neither color nor form, and I cannot see or touch it. Therefore, in order to reassure me that everything is alright, the Buddha speaks to me in the name and voice of Namo Amida Butsu. Therefore, I can say that there is a great gratitude to be able to have the opportunity to pay attention to Amida Buddha through pulling our hands together in Gassho in front of the altar at the temple and the whole houses in our busy daily lives. It means that we have an important place to be free from any calculations, judgment, and prejudice. And it is a special place to be able to be mindful that each life is equally accepted as a brilliant life, whenever we are in any situation. It gives us a strength and a true, great peace to be us, who we are here and now. So that is why Shinran Shonin, who is our founder, suggests us to put Amida Buddha and a Buddha Dharma in the center of our lives as a grounded mind, and appreciate each moment in our life through hearing Namo Amida's primal vow. Not only Shinran Shonin, but also many ministers and followers have gotten over their difficulties and hardships in their lives with a great peace, great support of Amida's vows. And Shinran Shonin and other prominent masters, and also today's main person, Lady Kujo, and other Shini Kakushini, many people, and many other ancestors who valued Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion and lived strongly while hearing the Dharma. I hope we can put Amida Buddha in the center of our lives and our hearts, even if only during the service together today, that we slowly deepen our understanding and appreciation of Amida Buddha in our lives. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I'd like to conclude my talk with Namo Amida Butsu with Gassho. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen Akimoto, and I want to thank you all for attending service today. You know, this is one of two of our BWA services, along with the Eshini Kakushini service in the fall. So thank you for coming, and thank you especially to Mikame Sensei for, one, sharing your vacation experience with us, and we're sorry that you suffered difficulties in your previous career, but we're very pleased that you're here with us now, so thank you. I'd like to thank Rinban Sakamoto, our minister's assistants, Sumi Tanabe, Michael Jones, and Dennis Akizuki, and our organist, Elaine Jones, and thank you to Kevin Kitagawa for the tech support. And I think that's it, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. After this service is over, BWA ladies, you can go upstairs to the boardroom for refreshments. I would like to thank the following people who brought the refreshments: Janice Doi, Amy Tsusumi, Elaine Jones, Karen Hironaga, Kori Fujioka, Linda Iwasaki, and for the Kie Mon members who are here today, we're having a meeting after the service in the conference room downstairs. Again, thank you everyone for attending this special service. Please come forward for Oshoko. Are there any other announcements? Does anybody have an announcement? Len, you have an announcement? Okay.
Thank you. My name is Lynn Yamaichi, and I am here representing Generations Unite, and we are fundraising for the new building, the Dharma Center. And I first want to say that last night's Junior YBA Dinner was amazing. It was nice to see so many people there. The food was delicious, the raffle was fun, and it was just really great. So we're hoping that our casino night will bring out a lot of people too, and so we can meet together, have fun, and think about the new building that we're fundraising for. So we have more information, and it's available in the back. If you'd like to participate, there's information here. If you want to register online, the information's here. But also, if you want to help us save on administration fees, you can fill out the form and submit the payment to the Betsuin office. And there are opportunities if you have things that you might want to donate for a raffle and an experience, maybe teach a class how to make scrubbies or skimono or something. We would certainly appreciate that. That's called our Fun with Friends. We're interested in wine donations and any kind of things that you might have that would support our raffle and baskets. But I do want to thank BWA for the wonderful basket that they are donating. So thank you very much.
Hello. I invite you to join Boy Scout Troop 611's World on Saturday, March 11th. Troop 611 is hosting family steak dinner in the annex next door. Takeout is from 4 to 6 p.m., dine-in from 5 to 7 p.m. Information on how to reserve tickets is in the Dharma newsletter, so please join our World on Saturday, March 11th. Thank you.
Well, I can't let this opportunity go by. BWA has been doing community outreach program for a number of years now. And this year we have partnered with Aki and their focus on domestic violence. So BWA has been urging people to donate regular size toiletries, soap, shampoo, conditioner, lotion. We have a trunk in the office that you can put your donations. And if you don't want to do that, we'd rather donate money. We can accept checks made out to San Jose BWA. And we will, after the drive is over on March 31st, we will buy sheets and other necessity that they might be able to use. So thank you for joining us in this endeavor. And now, are there any other announcements? Okay, now you may go forward for Oshoko. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you a gold star. You've been coming every Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I finally found a place to go.
Yeah, we love you to be here.
together